Hey, Corporate Dropouts. Welcome back to issue 3 of the Corporate Dropout with me, Brad Didericksen.
Every weekend, I'm writing a personal, private newsletter filled with raw, honest perspectives on what's shifting, what's calling, and what's emerging next in the corporate dropouts space. Real, raw, no AI, no Grammarly, 100% written by hand.
Hey, coming to you today a little bit down, frustrated, flustered. I spent all morning and some of the afternoon now trying to get this issue out. We're on issue 3 of the Corporate Dropout. It's me, you, some earbuds in my ears, maybe some earbuds in your ears, and my phone, and probably your phone. That's it. That's all it has to be. Because I know how hard it can be out here on your own. I know how lonely it can be. I know what it feels like to be ashamed that you don't have it all figured out. I don't want to go back to a corporation. I don't want to go back to a large organization. Not right now, because you're out there. It's a challenging thing. I'm sure you feel the same way throughout your week. Get to the weekend and look back and go, what was all that for? Did I make a difference in someone's life? Did I earn any more dollars that are going to put me ahead? Have I done anything different this week than I did the week before? It's Groundhog Day all over again. So frustrating. And if you've seen this movie once, you've seen it 17,000 times. You know what I'm talking about. It's just the same day over and over again. But by the end of the movie, the main character that Bill Murray plays learns so much about himself. It's a great message about personal discovery and what it takes to make a great day. Sitting at my kitchen counter this morning, I was reminded of Groundhog Day again because I'm back again this week trying to get myself to have this conversation with you, to be able to explain the things that have been swirling around in my head as I've talked to corporate dropouts throughout the week. We've had some amazing discussions one on one and at the weekly water cooler that we do on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And for you European listeners, we do that at 7 p.m. GMT. We have 90 minutes to just talk about all of our aspirations, our challenges, our wins as corporate dropouts. Some of the themes that came out this week were around discoverability, energy management, and working in a box, which we all love to do, right? So let's dive into discoverability. This has been the bane of my corporate dropout experience over the last 10 years. What I learned in my corporate job was that my value, what I do, is all based on my merit. And every promotion I got, every job title I went for, every new job I went for, I had to build a resume and show that person what my merit was, how awesome I was, right? Every end of year review, all of those things. That's how you get discovered within a corporation. So you can climb that ladder and have people help you, pull you up along that ladder and push you up along the ladder. And I thought it was nothing but the same when I went out on my own. Why wouldn't I do that? The funny thing about it was nobody signed up to work with me that way. The first client I got was a referral from my sister. She learned about what I was doing. I started coaching her on a business that she wanted to do. And then before I knew it, she was talking to everybody else. It was really exciting. And before I knew it, I had a client base. I opened a small office for them to come to, and we could work together on a whiteboard. They were paying me money. We were making progress. But before long, my clientele, they started graduating out of the process and moving on to their next thing. I didn't have anyone else to come backfill that. And I didn't know what to do other than to go to my sister again and go, hey, do you know anybody else? The only way I knew how to do it was, again, to tell people how awesome I was. Eventually, this just burned me out, being with clients all day and then trying to figure out how to generate new leads. Because the only way I knew how to generate new leads was to go out and tell people how awesome I was. And so I had to set up one-on-one meetings and try to run them through my tools and show them how valuable I was. It wasn't sustainable for me. So I ended up shutting down that office and going and kind of retooling and trying to figure out this discoverability issue. And I spent, I don't know, somewhere between $500 and $1,000 running ads. I didn't get anybody signing up. It was a great learning experience for me, a painful one when I didn't have a lot of money to begin with. But I did get another client while I was doing that. I happened to be hanging out at a coffee shop and was telling a lot of people about what I was working on and talking to them about their problems and what they were working on. I was telling my sister about this, and she got excited. And before I knew it, I had a text from several people saying, hey, what are you doing? Let me work with you. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm so angry and frustrated. The only leads I can generate are from my sister. Like completely dependent on my sister. This is not going to work. And so around and around and around I went on this discoverability issue. And I wanted people to just see what I'm doing and know that I'm awesome and I have merit and value and you should be working with me. So I had to really reconcile that inside of me. When I showed up to Corporate Dropout, that just showed up as me. People got to know me, and then people started referring people to my publication, and then the recommendations started. I started building a social network on social media, something I never would have done before. It's really, really difficult when somebody recommends me on their publication or on their social media because I see what they write and I'm like, oh, but that's not why I'm awesome. I'm awesome because of these things that I do and these tools that I have and all these ways I approach things. But I had to let go of control of that because some awesome people have shown up. Kugler, Dave Gray, Jody Gates, Anna Blevins. So many people have come out of the woodwork to recommend what I'm doing because they love who I am and they sense that I can add value to their audience. Not because they've read a landing page or a sales page or a Facebook ad, because we have a social connection now. And found my way out of that Groundhog Day scenario. The second Groundhog scenario has been around energy management for me. And I was stuck in this never ending cycle of trying to find work life balance. We're all trying to find that, right? Trying to get that teeter totter in our life to not be like this all the time, but to just be stable and level so that we can sit in the middle and just be calm, meditating, relaxed, and peaceful. There's this nirvana state we're all trying to get to in balancing those things. I fought tooth and nail for these things throughout my corporate job and then for many, many years after, and it led me to a complete breakdown because I had come up with this mantra that I can do hard things. And when I do hard things, it pushes me forward in work and in life. I need to work a lot, and then I need to rest a lot, and then I need to work a lot, and then I need to rest a lot. And that yo-yo just burnt me out. I was driving that process through stress. Now, some stress is healthy. This stress was not. This was amping my body up, my nervous system, so I could go do a hard thing. And then after I got the hard thing done, I could go relax. I thought I could only relax after I'd done the hard thing. The relaxation, the calm was earned. It was the teeter totter, right? Going back and forth. What I've come to learn with corporate dropouts, and this is really exciting for me over the last couple of months, is that it's not about work-life balance for me anymore. I've gone through a transition where I don't need that stress to do things and to have conversations and meet corporate dropouts. All I need to do is show up and be myself. The way to do that, I've found, is to focus on the things that only I can do. So every day now, my work is not, I'm going to go do a hard thing and learn a hard skill and grind and grind and grind. My daily work is like this morning to show up, understand what the dialogue is that's going on inside of me, the feelings that I'm feeling, sit with the anxiety, the worries, yes, sit with the stress, let it be, and work my way toward that external thing that I want to achieve. There's no teeter-totter anymore. It's just one aligned flow, a different kind of energy that isn't like a live wire stress. This flow for me comes in energy waves. And so I'm just riding the wave every day. Those waves take me to places where I'm somewhere between uneasy, somewhere between calm, somewhere between bored, and somewhere between pleased with myself. It's this strange place. Doesn't feel like I've achieved something great and I'm super excited about it. It doesn't feel like I need to push myself to achieve something. It's just a flow. And next Groundhog Day theme for my corporate dropout journey has been learning how to work in a box. We hate working in boxes. That's why we want to leave corporate. I had an early experience with that just 2 months after I started my job as a geologist. I was new to the team and a couple other people coming into an existing team and decided to do a team building exercise. It involved a Myers-Briggs assessment. Seems like a natural thing to do. Let's figure out everybody's strengths and weaknesses, figure out how we can come together as a group to do something bigger than ourselves. Great. Love team building. It's awesome. What I didn't love is what happened when we got together to share our Myers-Briggs profiles and talk about them as a group. The facilitator did a great job and was running us through different exercises. And one of the exercises they had us do was to stand on a line that they had put down with tape on the floor. It's meant to show the spectrum in the way that we approached problem solving as a group. The facilitator asked us to see at different points of the line based on our Myers-Briggs type. So I went and I stood kind of toward the center of the line. Everybody kind of looked at me weird, and I thought, well, what's going on? And somebody finally had the courage to say, you don't belong there. You belong at the end of the line down there, at the other end of the spectrum. That's where you need to be. I thought, well, wait a second. My Myers-Briggs type says I should be here. And they thought, wow, okay, maybe I don't know myself. Maybe they know better. I went and stood at the end of the line. And, I was like, okay, cool. This is where I fit in. This is where I'm at. But that just grated on me and grated on me for years. It took many years before I could understand what was going on. I was the only geologist on the team. The geologist that was there before had moved on to another position, was backfilling his role. And so they had typecast me right into his personality. And they were just saying, hey, you need to be like this person. I carried that resentment with me for years through my entire corporate existence. I wanted to show everybody from that point on that you cannot contain me. You cannot put me in a box. It's manifested in lots of different ways. I didn't want to sit in one office for too long, so I moved around a lot there. After doing that for 5 or 6 years, they said, hey, that's enough moving around. We like what you're doing here. You're really good at it, and we'd like you to sit in this office for the next 30 years. Isn't that cool? Like, have safety, security, you're here, you have a place to be, and now you can just focus on doing this one thing really good. All I heard was, go stand at that end of the line again That's where you belong. And I'm like, no, you will not put me in this box. I am more than just this office. So I quit and I went to a different company and I did something completely different. And I moved on from there. And then I moved on from there. And then I moved on from there. Even after leaving corporate, I didn't want anybody to put me in a box. I didn't want anybody to call me a life coach, a business advisor. Don't you give me a title. What I've come to learn through working with Corporate Dropouts community is that, yes, you can't contain me. However, there are boxes to work in. And why do we need a box? Think about an Amazon shipment that you get. It's not about the box. It's about what's inside. Instead of being a jack in the box that pops out and says, "Here I am. You can't contain me." Ah. Huh. What I learned to do is to pour myself into different boxes. And that's what I'm continuing to do here with Corporate Dropouts. I've chosen to pour myself into being a community host. I've chosen to pour myself into writing a weekly email newsletter and podcast. These are just different boxes that help me deliver what I'm offering, the thing that only I can do. When somebody chooses the box, they can open it and see what I've poured in there for them. Of course, it's not all of me. When they connect with that thing, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel fulfilled, I feel that I have a sense of purpose and a sense of belonging somewhere. It's beautiful. Now I show up to pour myself into different boxes. I'm always looking, where's the next box? Like this window, this video window that you may be looking at right now. It's a box. So how have I poured myself into it? What am I wearing? My beard, the glasses I'm wearing, the words I'm saying. It's all me pouring myself into this box. Same happens on Zoom. This came up in our water cooler call yesterday. What do our Zoom boxes say about us? What are we offering in that box? This reframe really helped me get out of that Groundhog Day, what's the point pattern that I was in. In the end, we're all just like Bill Murray's character, living the same day over and over, trying to find a way to get out. But the way to get out isn't by doing the same thing over and over or doing crazy things, doing the teeter-totter on work-life balance or pushing ourselves extra hard to get something done or running around being resentful at everyone and telling everyone to F off. None of those things solve the groundhog paradox. Those that are listening, I'm holding up one finger. Now, that's from another favorite movie of mine called City Slickers. It came out in 1991. I watched this with my mom as a teenager. She was in her mid 40s. She really resonated with the movie as Billy Crystal's character was in his mid 40s and trying to figure out what the meaning of life was. A common question we ask ourselves at that age. Jack Palance's character, Curly, held up that one finger and said, "You know what the secret to life is? It's this one finger." Billy Crystal says, "What, your finger is the secret to life?" He says, "No, it's finding that one thing." Billy Crystal says, "Well, tell me what it is. What's the one thing? Tell me, tell me." And wisely, Jack Palance says, "That's what we all get to figure out." And so I'll leave that with you today to go out and figure out what is that one thing. Because that one thing is the point. If you're listening to this on audio or you're watching on video, just know that I write a written form of this and I add a lot of photos and images from my own life illustrating these concepts. That can be found at dropthecorporate.com/newsletter. If you've just now subscribed, you can go back and get the previous issues there. Have you had a groundhog moment in your corporate dropout story that you'd like to share with me, or come to our weekly water cooler call and share with the larger community? It's a lot of fun to talk about these. It's a lot of fun to laugh about them, and we have a great time together. If you'd like to join details for that, that is at dropthecorporate.com/water cooler. Trying to keep things simple here. All right, everyone, have a wonderfully fantastic week on this roller coaster ride that is the corporate dropout path. We'll talk real soon. Onward.